More and more, we are looking for resources that help us understand exactly what kind of insight and information is valuable for us to make key decisions when it comes to buying or selling a home. Adriano Tori here with the RexMont Real Estate Group. One of those key areas for us to understand, especially when we are in this a transition of moving into a different property, is of understanding our home value, right? If we have plans to sell our home, we have awesome sources there, but sometimes it might turn out to be confusing, right? In fact, we can tap into websites like Zillow, and give us a certain value when it comes to understanding more about the market trend in your neighborhood. We can go into another great site like Redfin. We can even know somebody in the family or an acquaintance or a friend that is an appraiser. And every now and then we come across different opinions from different individuals. And so there are a few things that I like us to go over during this time that are going to be critical for us to keep in mind when it comes to pricing your home. If we are planning to make a move, we're planning to sell the property, move to a bigger one or downside, or if we are planning on refinancing. Okay, so a critical area to understand, back to the basis, is that when it comes to property value, there are three values that we have to dissect here. One is going to be the county value, which is basically what the county bases your property value at to tax you. Usually, this value is going to be 3 through 40% lower than your actual appraised value. For the most part, this value is going to be a lagging value. It's going to be a reference value, again, to help us understand how the county gauges the market to ultimately send you a tax bill, which in turn, that bill, as we are aware, it helps to pay for the fire department, the police force, and maintaining the community and the road. The second value for us to understand is the appraised value, right? And this is a value that is actually formed by an appraiser visiting the subject property or a property, where they assess the recent activity in the neighborhood and the community in terms of properties being sold. Also, there will be some pending data that they will factor in as part of the analysis that they run. The quality of the features of those properties compared to the property that they are appraising, and the improvements. Likely there may be exterior improvements that might have been done to the land, like for example, building a water feature, fencing the property, improving the landscaping. So all of those will make your appraised value. And the thing here for us to keep in mind is that sometimes, more often than not, we look into the appraised value as an indicator of what to use or what not to use to price our property in the market. And we are looking into that data compared to our appraised value of what might have happened if, let's say right now being October, the pumpkin month, we're planning on putting that property in the market. And then we look back in time and we look into August and we look into September, right? And we see that there is, especially with this market that we're going through right now, there is a tremendous amount of disparity in terms of what an appraised value might represent when it comes to pricing your property. In fact, it might not be the ultimate or a definitive indicator that will help us understand what our value is. Now, along with this comes the most important part for us to keep in mind, right? And that is how to determine the ultimate value based on what is happening in the community. And we call this the top market value. So what makes the top market value? Just very much as close to an appraisal report. Look into the recent sales, right? Properties that have been sold or have been selling in the neighborhood lately for a certain price. There will be a percentage change as well that we are going to need to factor in as time goes by through a period of time in the different seasons, right, of the year. Improvements, as much as what we find on an appraisal report. The months of housing supply that is in the community, along with the demographics of who are the people, the families, the individuals who are moving into the community. So we want to understand who they are, the purchasing power that they have, along with what values are important for them, right? We factor this in, and then we come out with a top market value, and that top market value can range somewhere between -5% all the way to 49% plus from the appraised value that could have otherwise have gotten before we put the property in the market. So very important for us is to understand how to be able to come up with a top market value of the recommendations of the next real estate agent that you're interviewing, to ensure that your expectations are set up solid and clear, and a game plan is in place, even if we are making this decision on moving forward with a sale or a refinance. I hope you found this helpful. If you wish to have further insight on how to get a top market value on your property, we are going to be including a PDF document below this video, and reach out to us if there is any questions you have in terms of any things around real estate. I wish you well, and I see you soon.